Happy morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all for this online class and I invite all the 7th standard students to attend this social science class. And today, we are going to study about Unit 3 of our social book, which is in page number 131. And the title of our lesson is Emergence of New Kingdoms in South India, Later Cholas and Pandyas. So, in this lesson, we are going to study about uh, the progress of the gradual improvement, gradual attaining of power of the new kingdoms in South India, particularly the Cholas and the Pandyas. And in today's class, we are going to study about the Cholas. So the Cholas established their kingdom during the Sangam age, that is around 300 BC. During this period, the southern part of India was ruled by three prominent kingdoms. They are the Cheras, Cholas, and the Pandyas. The Cheras ruled over the western part of South India, and the Pandyas ruled over the southern part of South India, and the Cholas ruled over the eastern part of South India. And even though comparing with North India, the Chola kingdom is smaller in territory, they were very strong. Okay, during this time, North India was ruled by the most famous Mauryan kingdom, Mauryan Empire. So these Mauryan emperor were very strong. Even they defeated the Greeks from Europe, and also they extended the territory up to Karnataka in the south, but they could not able to defeat the southern part of India, these three kingdoms, Chera, Chola and Pandya. One of the major reasons for that is, even though these three kingdoms, Chera, Chola, Pandya kingdoms, had conflict among themselves, had bitterness among themselves, whenever enemies from outside comes to attack them, they united together and with their full strong force, they resisted their enemies from entering their kingdom. And moreover, among these three kingdoms, Chola kingdom were more stronger and they ruled more territories. And they ruled over the most fertile land surrounding the Kaveri river, the delta regions. So, the lands which they ruled over were very fertile and mostly agricultural practices were flourished during their period. And also, the Chola kingdom had a great naval army. Their naval force were very much strong and they were very elegant. And the Chola kingdom also had some prominent cities during the ancient times. Some of the prominent cities are Pumbuhar, Urayur, Kaverim Pumpattinam, Gangaikonda Cholapuram. These are some of the prominent cities during the Chola period. And the Chola period is divided into three groups. They were early Chola period around 100 BC to 200 AD, then medieval Chola period, which is around 848 to 1070 AD, and finally the later Chola period, that is from 1070 to 1279. So now we are going to study about these periods one by one. And first we are going to study about the early Chola period. So the early Chola period is not much prominent. There were only weaker kings and they ruled over only very smaller territories. But during the period of Karikala Chola, that is around the 2nd century AD, during the period of Karikala Chola, the Chola kingdom attained prominence. It became very important. He became the most popular king of the early Chola kingdom. The capital city of his kingdom is Urayur. Present day we call it Tiruchirappalli, that is Tiruchi. And he built the most famous Kallanai Dam, which is renowned for its durability. So he built this dam nearly 2000 years ago, and till today this dam is very strong. He built this dam using rocks and clay mortar, and this dam was built across the river Kaveri. And even though the river Kaveri was flooded year after year throughout the centuries, still this Kallanai dam is very strong and durable because of the greatness of the architecture made by Karikala Chola. And he also won the Battle of Venni. So Venni is a place nearby Tanjavur, and at this war, during this Battle of Venni, the Pandyas and Cheras they united together and fighted against Chola king Karikala. But even though they were stronger, he repulsed them and defeated them. And moreover, Karikala Chola went on expedition towards north with his military armies, and he reached up to Himalayas, and on Mount Himalayas he hoisted his national flags, which is the emblem of tiger. So such a great king Karikala Chola belonged to the early Chola period. Then after Karikala Chola, the kingdom became weaker. He was succeeded by weaker kings, and slowly the greatness of the Chola kingdom faded away, and eventually it was gradually moved out of history. And for nearly 600 years, there were no prominent informations about the Chola kingdom. So the middle years were out of service for these Chola kingdoms. Then let's move on to the medieval period of the Chola kingdom. So after the early period of the Chola kingdom, they were not much prominent. They they were only they did not have even any kingdom. They had only a small chiefdom uh, near Kaveri river, that is north of Kaveri river. The Cholas were ruling a small chiefdom. So what happens during this medieval period? There was a battle between the Pandyas and Cheras, and during this time Vijayalaya, King Vijayalaya was the chieftain of Chola dynasty. He was a small king over his chiefdom. So what happened when there was a war between the Pandyas and Cheras? This Chola king Vijayalaya took advantage of this time, and he started to capture Tanjavur. And he established his kingdom as Chola kingdom, and he made Tanjavur as his capital city. And uh, because the first kingdom was established by Vijalaya, he is named as the founder of Imperial Chola Empire. So, the founder of the Chola Empire is Vijalaya, and his time period is around 850 to 870 AD. The, the medieval period is called as the golden period of the Chola Empire, because during this period only the Chola kingdom reached its peak, reached its zenith. Some powerful kings such as Rajendra Chola, Rajaraja Chola, they they became prominent during this medieval period. So we are going to study about some of the important kings of the medieval period now. And the first king whom we are going to study in the medieval period is King Rajaraja Chola. You might have studied about this name. This is a very important name. He is a great king, Rajaraja Chola. So after the rule of King Vijalaya, he was succeeded by his son Rajaraja Chola I. Okay, the time period of Rajaraja Chola I is 985 BC AD to 1016 AD. So he extended his territory up to Kalinga in the western part of India, and up to Kalinga in the northern part of India, and in the south he reached up to Ceylon, that is we call Sri Lanka. He also built the most famous Bragadiswara temple at Tanjore. So the most famous Bragadiswara temple was built by Rajaraja Chola I. It is a very important temple. The height of the temple is around 214 feet, and the dome rock which is at the top of the temple is made with a single rock, and the weight of that single rock is around 80 tons, that is 80,000 kilograms. And the architects of today, the modern world, they are very much astonished, surprised how this much huge rock were taken up to 200 feet without any modern technologies. So, Rajaraja Chola was a great architect who built the most important Bragadiswara temple. And he also defeated the armies of Pandyas and Chalukyas and extended his territory. And now we move on to the next important king, that is King Rajendra Chola. And King Rajendra Chola is the most prominent ever king of the Chola dynasty. No other kings attained greatness comparing with Rajendra Chola. So he went on to the military expedition up to river Ganges in the north, and he captured much territories. And because he went up to the Ganges, he was called Gangai Kondan. He was given a name Gangai Kondan. And he changed his capital from Tanjavur to a new capital city in remembrance of his victory, that is named as Gangaikonda Cholapuram. And he facilitated a strong maritime trade, that is sea trade. Okay, he made sea trade stronger, he built navy strong, and his navy reached most of the southern Asian countries, Sumatra, Indonesia, Malaysia. They had trade over these foreign countries. So after the death of Rajendra Chola, again the Chola kingdom became weaker. He was succeeded by weaker kings, and finally from medieval period to the Chola kingdom was pushed into the later period, which brought the decline of the Chola Empire, end of the Chola Empire. So during the later Chola period, uh, the successor of Rajendra Chola, that is Veera Rajendra, his son Adi Rajendra was killed in the civil war. Okay, there was a religious war among the people in the kingdom, and during that internal conflict, the future king, the prince of the country, was killed in that unrest. His name is Adi Raja. So, because of the death of the prince, there is nobody for the kingdom to take control. So, what happened? Kulothunga won from Chalukya, Eastern Chalukya dynasty. He was a relative of the Chola kingdom. He was related to the Chola kingdom. They were intermarried among themselves. So, in order to save the Chola dynasty, the Eastern Chalukya Kulothunga I, he came to Chola dynasty, and he took control over the Chola kingdom, and he removed all the threats from the destruction of the Chola Empire. He removed all the threats of the destruction of the Chola Empire, and he saved the Chola Empire, and he brought it to a good condition, but not very long. After a while, he lost the territory of Ceylon. Then slowly he also lost some of his territories to Pandya kingdom, and slowly the Pandya kingdom started to become more powerful, and finally uh, the last king of the Chola dynasty, his name was Maravaraman Kulosegara Pandya. Pandya I of the Pandya dynasty defeated Rajendra Chola III, and that ended the Chola kingdom, and the Chola kingdom was succeeded by the Pandyas in the south. So these are some of the important informations about the Chola kingdom. Children, I hope you all understood about the Chola kingdom. Next class we are going to study about the administration and governance of the Chola kingdom. Go through the syllabus, study your books. See you, bye.